This week, we have a new Club.gg season. We are doing an event with Icon, which is another Overwolf app. If you sign up and complete 5 challenges on Icon, you will be rewarded 5,000 club coins. Just go to the top of the app and click on this button to get started. If you're new to Club.gg, it is a platform that will allow you to earn coins and trophies just by completing challenges in-game. You can use these coins to redeem free stuff in the shop, and having more trophies will put you at the top of the leaderboards. We're going to be hosting a lot of these events, so make sure to join my club and start grinding. What is up guys, CatLife here with a new video. Today, we are going to be talking about how to itemize on Katarina. I know a lot of you guys already know how to itemize on Cat, so I'm going to keep this video short and brief. Katarina's item builds are very flexible, so you should constantly be adapting and changing your builds according to the situation. First, let's start off with the starting items. My personal favorite is Longsword 3 pots. AD is a very good stat on her early because of her AD scalings on her abilities and her auto attacks. It's also very gold efficient since it built into Gunblade as well. Doran's Shield and Dark Seal are both pretty good options too. Buy D-Shield for a safer laning phase, and buy Dark Seal if you want a mix of damage and sustain. Out of the 3, I would advise you to learn how to use the Longsword start. The AD will help you capitalize on opportunities where you can go for trades or even get kills in lane. Now, if you really want to be gold efficient, you can actually replace the 3 pots you would get from Longsword and Dark Seal to a refillable potion. You do have a little bit less sustain, but you do save some gold in the long run. Now we're going to talk about the core items. The core items are pretty much Gunblade and tier 2 boots. Gunblade is a very strong item and it's pretty much made for Cat. It gives you AP, AD, an active slow, and even healing, so you're able to sustain in fights. Your goal is to pretty much build this as soon as possible because it gives you a huge power spike early to mid game. Now your build path towards Gunblade is actually pretty important. I usually go 2 longswords into the revolver, then finish up the cutlass. The 2 longswords is good to maintain the adaptive AD you get from your runes, so you can take advantage of how well Katarina uses the AD early. And then I start building into the revolver. I personally prefer revolver over finishing up the cutlass, because cutlass is pretty pricey for the stats it gives. The active slow is nice to potentially take advantage of immobile champions in lane, but it doesn't give you as much damage as revolver. Remember that the build path leading up to Gunblade is always going to change, depending on how much gold you back with. Now let's talk about boots. Sorcerer's Shoes is probably your best option, purely because of the Magic Pen. Magic Pen is such a good stat on Cat that it's just really hard to pass up. Merc Treads is also good against heavy CC comps, and it synergizes really well with the Tenacity rune in the Precision tree. Remember, you can start building your boots as you're building your Gunblade. Finishing your boots early is actually a pretty good option against certain matchups. For example, if you struggle against Ryze, you can build Merc Treads to survive the early laning, and the Tenacity will help you against the Snare. The movement speed will also help you against skillshot champions, like Lux and Syndra. Just understand that you'll be delaying your Gunblade and you won't be having a lot of damage early. Now I'm quickly gonna go over 2 items that you can build early on against hard matchups. Seeker's Armguard is good against hard AD matchups, and Hexdrinker is really good against hard AP matchups. You're mainly only going these items just to survive laning phase, so I wouldn't recommend you do this all the time. But if you know the matchup's going to be hard, and you want a bit more lane control, these are your 2 defensive options early. Now I'm going to start going into the build after Gunblade. From this point, you want to be able to improvise your build. Katarina is super flexible when it comes to her item builds, so you want to make sure you're able to take full advantage of it. So I'm going to be going through the viable options you can build after Gunblade, so you'll have a better understanding of how to complete the build. Morellonomicon is usually my go-to after Gunblade. It gives all-around great stats like AP, health, and especially the Magic Pen. You really can't go wrong with it. You can even leave the Oblivion Orb as is if you're trying to prioritize another item, because you're mainly getting it for the Magic Pen. If you're going Conqueror, go Death's Dance. Gunblade and Death's Dance do stack, and it's the best way to abuse the healing you get from Conqueror. It's not a high damage item, and the heal depends on how much damage you deal. So I would recommend building more damage after this item if possible. Zhonya's is a great item on Cat. You're mainly getting it for the stasis. The stasis is great for getting aggressive, so it allows you to stay safe while jumping into fights. It also gives armor as well, so it's great against heavy AD comps. It's a little bit lacking on the AP, so don't expect to deal a lot of damage with it. Void Staff is a super important item. I can't stress how important Magic Pen is on Katarina. Once the enemies start to build a lot of MR, this item is essential to dealing damage. Constantly keep an eye out on the enemy team's builds, and make sure you get this item if needed. Banshee's Veil is a great item if you need magic resist. The passive is a great addition to it as well. It'll make it so that it's hard for the enemies to engage on you, so it's great against heavy pick comps and AP assassins. Rabadon's Death Cap is the best item if you want a lot of AP. It scales off of the AP that you already have, so it's a great item to buy late game. It is a very expensive item, so building it early might be a little difficult. It's good early only if you know you're going to have a lot of gold to finish it, or else it's heavily going to stunt your build. I would say it's viable to build it early and late, as long as you know you're going to have the gold to finish the item as soon as possible. But I would highly recommend building it towards the late game in order to get the most out of it. Now there's a lot of other items Katarina can go, and I'll put them on the screen for you right now. I'm not going to be explaining these items, but I just want you to know that these items do have potential as well. Now I'm going to be closing off the video with some last minute tips. Remember that your build can change depending on the gold you back with. So if I end up backing with a lot of gold, and I'm able to buy a death cap straight up, I'll do it. You're gonna have to change the build up accordingly, but remember that at that point, you're playing more around your build rather than the enemies. When playing Katarina, you wanna make sure you prioritize your damage items. Katarina is an AP burst assassin, so you have to build like one. But depending on the game, if the enemy comp is hard to deal with, or someone on the enemy team is just really fed, then you're gonna need to build the defensive items to counteract. So build damage items when you can, and build defensive items when you need to. Lastly, Katarina is very flexible when it comes to item builds. You can basically build whatever you want, and it might work. So try out all the different items and see what you like, and have fun with it, because that's one of the beauties of playing Katarina. Well, that's it for the video. I'm going to be answering more item questions down below, so throw a question in the comment section and I'll answer for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this really helped you out. Remember to have fun, play smart, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Hey guys, if you want to watch me stream, make sure to catch me on facebook.com/catlifelol, and also follow my Discord, City of Aura. The link will be down in the description. You'll have access to me, and you'll also have access to all the other cat mates as well.